Hi, everybody. I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote: "Don't regret the past, learn from it." I wish I had done, or I wish I had not done. The motto of regret. I wish I would have gone to college, we say. I wish I would have finished my degree. I wish I would have taken that job when it was offered to me, and now it's over, it's gone. I wish I would have jumped on that opportunity when it was dropped in my lap instead of holding back. I wish I would not have let him or her go. I wish I wouldn't have said that. I wish I would have learned to play, and we name the instrument. When we think about these past mistakes, we all have made them. We think about these failures, we are filled with regret. And regret is feeling sad, sorry, disappointed, and discouraged. Sometimes even we feel shame when we're with other people. All we can think about is what we didn't do, and we're just sure they know what we didn't do and how we blew it. We are mourning loss, and we're longing to go back to redo or undo. And regret is like a video loop. It's triggered by something, and it just starts playing. And it continues to remind us the failure, the mistake, the problem in the past. And we relive all the feelings of regrets that go along with it. We keep thinking about what we did do, what we didn't do, what we should have done, how we reacted. I think, really, feeling regret is necessary to a point. We need to express some of those feelings we have. I'm really frustrated that I did that or didn't do that. I'm disappointed. I'm sad about it. But I think we need to understand that regret alone doesn't really help anything. What good is it to sit around and beat yourself up and feel bad? What good does that do? It doesn't do any good at all. It makes you miserable. It makes the people around you miserable. And it keeps us stuck. We're not moving forward in life. We're not grabbing new opportunities. We're just sitting there. We got to get to this place of being able to say, what happened, happened. I can't do anything about it. Regret is a solution to none of the problems in your life. It doesn't help any. It doesn't solve any. So, to those who are struggling with regret over past things, welcome to the world of humanity. Everybody who is a human has regrets. You are not the only one. Everybody you see, everybody you lock eyes with, everybody you work with, everybody who sits around you in church, 6 feet apart, of course, everybody who is behind a mask has regrets. Many of the people, probably most of the people we look up to and admire, have regrets. But it's kind of important to notice having regrets, having blown it in the past, missed out on things, doesn't mean life is over. If you look at people, you will notice that they tend to recover and keep going. They may not be able to do some of the things they originally wanted to do because of something that happened, but life keeps going. And many of them discover totally new things to do that are rewarding and fulfilling. So choosing regret doesn't help. And a better way is mentioned in the quote. Learn from the things we regret. Learning from our regrets. The first part of that process is to acknowledge what you did. Acknowledge the failure, acknowledge the mistake, acknowledge the thing you overlooked and didn't do. Acknowledge it. I didn't finish school. I can't believe I dropped out. Sometimes we have to drop out of school. Work, family needs, whatever. Admit it. I blew it. Missed the opportunity. I really hurt my family or my close friends when I did that. It's really good to acknowledge what you did and to be really clear about it, really specific about it, not vague about it. I think number 2, after you acknowledge it, you need to apologize to those you hurt and make amends. If nobody was hurt by what happened, just you didn't do something, you didn't follow through or whatever, you missed a chance to do something, then you don't really need to apologize to other people. But it's good to think about it. Was anybody else affected by this? But if you did, your failure, your mistake, your oversight, your choice, if it did hurt other people, you need to go and say you are sorry. Don't try to explain it. Don't try to blame somebody for what happened. Don't blame God for it. You are responsible for what you did. So you go and you apologize. I am sorry for what I did, what I said, what I chose. I am totally sorry. I was wrong. What can I do to make it right to you? I think your apology needs to be as broad as the offense. So only those involved. I'm not a big proponent of everybody I meet telling them everything I've done wrong. I mean, I think that's a big turnoff. It's kind of like awkward. Oh my gosh. But if they're involved in it, yeah, you need to say something. Now, they may not forgive you. They may not want anything to do with you. That's part of the risk. But remember, you're doing what you have an obligation to do. You need to apologize. You need to offer to make it right and do the best you can. You can't control how they're going to react. They may forgive you and embrace you and bless you and say, hey, that's over. Thanks for coming and talking about it. Or they may forgive you, but then they're going to say, I just don't know if I can really trust you yet. Grab that. That gives you something to do. Start working on what it's going to take to earn the trust. You might even ask them, what will it take for me to earn this back? And they might say, and it always takes longer than we think to earn trust back, because a broken trust is a deep wound. Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. This is just simply giving yourself permission to move forward. You've acknowledged what you did. You've apologized for it. You've offered to make amends any way you can. And you're free now, but you're still kind of stuck. And sometimes you need to let yourself off the hook. I made a mistake. I made a bad choice. I did a real wrong thing. And you're apologizing. Sometimes in this apology, it helps to forgive yourself. Sometimes in your apology, you need to go to God about it, because sometimes it's been something against Him. This is called confession, and it's really just admitting what you did and apologizing to God for it. So you're clearing this air. And I sometimes think it's really helpful to choose to do something good for someone. Choose to do something good. I think you need to have a set time you're going to do this. because the tendency is to go too long because we feel like we need to beat ourselves up for what we did wrong. But just serve somebody, help out. This doesn't really change the past at all, but it changes us. It shows us that we can make choices to do good, and our serving other people really does a great work in us. So the forgiveness part is kind of full. You're apologizing, offering to make it right, and you're working to build trust back, but you're also forgiving yourself. The third part is start asking, what can you learn from that past event? Since I can't go back and redo, I can't go back and undo, which, a little sidebar, it wouldn't be a good idea if you could. I believe our life is everything we've done up to this point. The good things, the bad things. We are the combination of all of those choices. That's what makes us us. That's what makes us the person that we are. And you don't want to take pieces away. So it's better just to, hey, that's part of me. And learn from it. Don't try to erase it. And since feeling bad the rest of my life for what I did, it's not helpful. It just leads us to staying stuck and missing new, fresh opportunities that keep coming your way. So what can I learn? It helps to start exploring, why did you do what you did? What were you thinking? Our actions and our feelings often flow from what we think, what we're telling ourselves. So what were you thinking? What were you struggling with at the time that made you choose that instead of a better thing? And then start making the adjustments, learning about you and why you do what you do. And then I think it helps to start asking, how can I use what happened? How can I learn not to make those mistakes? How can I improve myself? How can I grow? How can I develop character from what happened? How can I treat others better and not only think of myself? So this is what you're exploring. You're trying to learn from what happened, and you're trying to grow from it. I think it helps to learn about making better decisions. I mean, I've made some pretty impulsive decisions in my life when I was younger, just jumped to things, and all decisions have consequences that we have to live with. And so when you're young, you're impulsive, but as you grow, you develop a better way of making decisions, and you want to improve. When we make better decisions, we will have fewer regrets. It's just a life principle. So how can you make better decisions? How can you conquer your fears and grab opportunities that come your way? How can you make better financial decisions? How can you make better friend decisions? All this, sometimes I think I've learned the most by going to some people a little older than me and just talk about how they make decisions. What formula do they use? What checkpoints do they use when they're making a decision about whatever? You can learn a lot. Regret. It's not a signal to stop living. It's not a signal to sit in the penalty box the rest of your life. Regret. They're feelings that we have about things we've blown. But the idea is not to regret the past. The idea is to learn from it, because the plan is never to stop living just because you've blown it. The plan is, when you blow it, learn from it so you can keep moving forward and continue to grow as a person. Don't regret the past. Learn from it. Hey, thanks so much for listening. And if this has been good, or you just click like or thumbs up on the YouTube page. If you want to subscribe, I'm still plugging away at these, so there'll be others. I try to have them come out on Tuesday. And I hope also that this has maybe triggered your thinking to work through your regrets a little better, learn from them so you can develop as a person and keep moving forward and grab the new opportunities that continue to come your way. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great week.